Today we're looking at how to carry out maintenance on your vehicle. I'm a mechanic by trade, so this video is to give you a view of how we go about servicing and some of the best practices to use. Like most things, we go through a series of steps. The first is making sure you know when the car is due for a service. The filters and oil in your car only have a certain lifespan, so if you don't replace them, it could be a costly trip to the mechanic. So we'll start with step one, and that's ordering parts for this 2011 XR6 Ute. But what I'd need is an oil filter, fuel filter, air filter, and a cabin filter. If you're not sure about the part numbers, you can jump on the Ryco Filters website and grab the details before heading down to your local parts store. Like the old saying goes, oils ain't oils. Same goes for filters. Always purchase the best quality service products you can afford from your retailer, which by the way, is Ryco. Right, now that I've got the parts, the first thing I'm gonna do is get the car off the ground so we can start the job. Right, so the engine's still just a little bit warm. That does help drain the oil out because it means the oil's a little bit thinner. If you basically just got out of the car and it's still red hot though, the oil will drain out fast, but there's a pretty good chance you're gonna burn yourself. So maybe just let it sit for a little bit, but I'm gonna rip this out now. Slowly, sometimes I might splash a bit, so stand back. All right, so this is just starting to trickle away. It's almost finished running. I'm gonna let this finish up so that I can get around this side because the oil filter on the Falcon's right up there. It's pretty easy to get to on these, provided it's not too tight. Some cars, they are a little bit more annoying to get to, but patience, and like I mentioned before, as long as the engine's not too hot, you're not going to burn yourself getting to it. So I'm just about to get the oil filter off. It's already not too bad. Sometimes you need an oil filter tool to get to them and get them off because they can be a little bit tight. This here though is a Ryco Flexi funnel, and what this is a very clever little design. You basically screw that up like a funnel, and then depending on some cars, because the filter drains down and you get oil all over everything, you can actually put this up in here and funnel the oil away from all the stuff that'll land on, because you'll end up having to clean it all up. But very clever design. Don't need it on this car, but definitely on something like a front wheel drive where the oil filter's right up tucked under something. Okay, so the sump plug's in and it's done up tight. Always make sure you do them up. I'm just about to get the oil filter off. Some oil filters you'll need a tool to get them off because they can be quite tight. There are also cartridge type oil filters, so just depending on the job, just double check you've got the right tools for it. So now the filter's off, we're just gonna make sure this is all nice and clean. Also, always double check that the old O-ring off the filter hasn't remained on the engine block there and it's still in the filter, because running two O-rings can cause massive oil leaks. Let's give that a clean up, make sure there's no dirt. Okay, so I got the new filter here. I'm just gonna quickly grab this out, pull the plastic off, and then some fresh oil, just a little bit, just on the seal there, just to help it go on. Not too much. Grab a rag, and then up here, alrighty, so I'm just gonna move my drain out of the way because I don't need that anymore. And these filters here, you don't have to do them up with a tool, just hand tight, and that'll be fine. Okay, so the next step for me would be to actually drop the car down and do the oil fill, but because it's on a hoist and I'm under here already, I'm gonna do the fuel filter at the same time. These fuel filters, they're just basically two spanners on each end to unlock these ends. What I'm gonna do though as well, because sometimes they may have a little pressure in them, is just crack it. Make sure I don't spray myself in the eyes with fuel. And sometimes it pays to wear safety glasses, but I'm gonna be careful. Got the drain bowl here just to catch any excess fuel, and then simply a matter of grabbing my new filter and swapping it. You gotta make sure you put it the right way around. There is an arrow there for in and out. Let's get this in here so we don't waste any more precious fuel. Okay, so ready to put the oil in. I'm gonna use the Flexi funnel here to put it in. 6 litres in total, so here we go. Okay, so full of oil, I'm gonna start it up, check for leaks from the oil filter and from the fuel filter. All right, everything looks good. I'll just check the oil level. Nice. Perfect. Next job. Time to do the air filter. Super simple job on these. Just got to undo these 4 screws here. They're a Torx bit. Alrighty. Out with the old filter. Now, it also pays to clean out the bottom of your air filter box when you're doing this. I've got air here, so it's pretty easy. I always put a rag in the intake just to make sure it didn't blow any debris or anything like that out. But quick. Okay, so the air filter's all done. Pretty much ready to get it off the hoist, and the next job is the cabin filter. Okay, so I'm going to be replacing the cabin filter now. I've got this one here for it. The cabin filter is up behind the glove box on there. Basically cleans all the air coming into the car. If they're left too long, they can be quite disgusting. And that's air that you're breathing inside the car. Also, if they get moisture in them, they can get moldy. So it is a pretty important thing to do, and it's for your own health and safety too. Slide that across, pop him out. Oh, look at this. Gross. Wow, gross. Look at that. Now we have this Ryco N99 MicroShield cabin filter as a replacement. The MicroShield is made of N99 medical grade media and can stop these minuscule pollutants from making their way inside the car by filtering out the particles down to 0.3 microns. It can stop viral and bacterial contaminants as well. All right, I'm all done here, so remember, maintaining your car is not difficult, but if you're not confident, take it to your local mechanic and get them to do it for you. Check out rycofilters.com.au for all your service needs, or ask your local parts store or mechanic for Ryco products.